Oh, hi everyone. I have a cup of tea because I need one. It's one of those days, as usual. I acquired 67 books in May. I discovered Depop and I have about maybe 20 books waiting to arrive from there. So they'll be in the June haul, but I bought them in May. But it's fine because we don't need a big haul again. But here I am. This is getting out of hand. I was not in control this month. I saw books and I bought books. I need to stop. Jesus. I was actually good this month and have read some of the books that I bought or acquired. So, yay me. If only I'd only bought 3 books. I'm just gonna really quickly show you these because I talk about them in my wrap up. The Island by David Almond, Then There Were None by B.P. Smith, Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops by Jen Campbell. The next books are ones that I have already shown you because I received them in subscription services. The first being Owl Crate, which we got 2 books this month. If you don't want to know what they are, look away. Catching Stars by Kayla Keenan, and we also got Sky in the Deep by Adrian Young, and the third and final book I got in a subscription service was 7 Ways We Lie by Riley Redgate. I picked up a copy of The Crown by Curated, which is book 5 in the selection series. I don't fucking know. I think I have like them all bar 1 now. I don't know. Blood Ties by Sophie Mackenzie, which is the sequel to Blood Ransom, which I hauled last month. But the girl that I bought it from was like, hey, I have the first book and I'll like throw it in for 50p, so I bought the first book again, even though I have it in the same edition. I've lost it, so good job I bought it again. Reached by Ali Condé in the same large paperback size as I have in Matched. So I have Matched, Crossed and Reached now. I also picked up Stealing Phoenix and Seeking Crystal by Joss Sterling, which are books 2 and 3 of the Benedict series, which I do have the first one, Finding Sky, and of course I haven't read it yet because I'm good like that. Again, love a large paperback. Fuck this size, give me these. H2O by Virginia Bergin and the sequel The Storm by Virginia Bergin. UK folks will recognise this series as The Rain, and I've had my eye on it for a while, and then somebody on BookTube in America had this edition. They had the hardback, I think, and I was like, I love it, I want it, because like, look at the paperback, look at this. It's got holes. I'm easy pleased, okay? I also picked up another World Book Day book for like 10 pence, and that is Killing the Dead by Marcus Sedgwick. This one I'm so excited about because like, how do I not have this yet? The Little Prince by Antoine de... Oh, do you know something? I've not studied French since I went to Paris in February and I have lost all sense of the language. Saint-Exupéry, which is obviously the English way of saying it. I'm assuming it's de Saint-Exupéry. French citizenship is this close, guys. This is just a... This is a classic French children's book and I need to read it. There's a fox involved, so like hell yeah, I need to watch the Netflix movie once I've read this. But I need to get my hands on a French copy so I can like practice my French and maybe actually pronounce this guy's name right. I can say Le Petit Prince. Prince? It'll be... whatever. I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself. I briefly showed this next book in my May TBR video, and I don't know if I like actually got it. I think I got it in May, but we're just gonna shove it in the haul anyway, and that is Sophie's World by Justin Gardner. And because I love this edition so much, when I saw this, which is Through a Glass Darkly by Justin Gardner, I was like, mine. I got myself a physical copy of Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley, which I have a NetGalley arc of, but I'm so bad at reading my ebooks on my phone because they give me migraines, so if I find a copy cheap, I will buy it. Royals by Rachel Hawkins. I am so excited to read this. This just seems like so much fun, and it's set in Scotland, so Ken, I'm from Scotland, so why am I putting an accent on even thicker than my own? You probably can't understand the word I'm saying now, can you? E. Lockhart is an author that I've read 2 books from. I have read We Were Liars, and the year before that I read The Boyfriend List, which are 2 very, very different books. But I've been so interested in reading more from that author, so I grabbed the Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks, also kind of floppy, which I love. 3 by Sarah Lotz. Don't fucking know. This, I'm not sure if it's YA. I thought it was, but I'm starting to think it's not. It does deal with 3 kids, but I have a feeling they're like aliens. There's basically, I think, 4 plane crashes. There's 3 kids and 1 like woman or whatever. And she lives long enough and records a voice message that just basically like warns about those 3. So I think those kids like in the crash end up becoming like aliens and are going to take over the world. I don't know. That's what I think it is. Oh, look at that floppiness. I'm intrigued to find out what happens, and so is my mum, who has told me I have to read it because she doesn't want to read it, but she wants to know what happens. So great. I was so excited to find this in, I don't know which charity shop. I'm sure it was a charity shop. Let's be real, it was probably a charity shop. Where does Emma ever buy her books other than a charity shop? The Treatment by C.L. Taylor. This was on my wish list like ages ago, and then I think in my head I was like, this isn't YA, it's adult thriller, like fiction. I don't need another adult thriller. Looks at the pile. Oh yeah, about that. We'll get to that. But when I was in the charity shop, the gripping young adult debut, so clearly it is YA and it does sound interesting whether it's YA or not, so it is mine now. Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider. This is about a boarding school for sick teens, so I'm already getting like Tiffios vibes. Someone's gonna die, I think. YA, charity shop, cheap. Was on my wish list donkeys ago when I was like majorly into contemporary, so I was like, hey, why not? You never know, maybe I'll actually read it soon. I got a copy of Court of Fives by Kate Elliott in the US paperback. I already own this in hardback, like the small one, but the girl that was selling this had this one and the second one, and I wanted both of them like in the matching edition, but she just got rid of the second one. So instead of just saying, oh, it's fine, I already have the first one, and like, so I don't want it in that edition without the second one, I just said, yeah, sure, I'll pay you for it. So clearly I am like a seller's best friend. This is the second book from Depop I've bought that I already fucking own. This book I was so excited about because my gran and I were like a little tag team with this. So I got a copy of Geekerella by Ashley Poston, which I have a NetGalley arc of, and I saw this in WH Smith, but they didn't have a sticker over the back with a price, so like I don't know how much it was supposed to be, and it was a little bit battered at the corner here, so like being myself, I went up and I was like, can you price this, and also it's a bit damaged, would you discount it? She gave me like £2 off it, and I was like, yeah, amazing. And then my gran, as we get out the shop, she's like, yeah, I ripped it a bit more for you. I was like, thanks, Gran. She didn't need to do it, but you know, the thought was there. It was nice. I'm sure you all know what this is about. I have just realised I've told you guys like nothing about all of those books, but hey, we've established I don't do synopsises. Nor can I say the damn word. The Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz, which is a Descendants novel. Recognised it, bought it. I haven't seen Descendants. Somebody that I went to drama school with was one of like the main cast in Descendants 2, which freaks me out because like there's literally Wattpad fanfiction about them, and that just makes me feel weird. You should never know someone who has fanfiction written about them. I Am David by Anne Holm, which is a very short book, and it's something about a concentration camp in Europe. Last month I read like 3 books dealing with like refugees and immigrants. Clearly May was all about me buying and reading those sort of books. So again, another sort of tragedy themed book. We have 11 by Tom Rogers, which Twin Towers. I don't know much else about it, but out of all the books I bought, this is the only one that I'm really kind of like, I should have just left that in the shop. And that's One Wish by Michelle Harrison. It is quite tatty. I picked it up and bought it because I recognised it from when I was a bookseller as one that was always like face out, and I thought, oh, that's meant to be really good. But apparently it's like the prequel to a series, so yeah, I don't care that much. This next one, I'm sure you can all figure out why I picked it up. French for Kissing by Sophie Parkin. This is one of those like old, sort of like, I think this was published in 2005. So one of the sort of original like old YA, before YA was a thing kind of books. But what made me like pick it up is the main character, she obviously, there's a glossary like in the back, and obviously she uses French quite a lot, so it's like in the back with the translations, and I was like, hey, if she's going to be using French throughout it, I want it. So I got Truth by, nope I didn't, I got Truth or Dare by Celia Rees, and I picked up a copy of one of her other books last month which sounded interesting. This is something to do with like a secret attic room, and he finds out about an uncle he has that like died in his teens, but like he knows nothing about him. This uncle has got no grave, no one talks about him, kind of mysterious, which I love. Now, I think it was my unhaul I talked about how I'm not a fan of music books, as in like YA fiction that deals with music. So why I picked up When It Happened by I'm assuming it's Suzanne, but that says Suzanne, so maybe it is Suzanne. Colasanti, Battle of the Bands, Boy and a Girl. I'm judging me too, don't worry. I grabbed another contemporary, Stella by Helen Eve. I can't remember what made me pick this up. Obviously I must have read something. That cover, if you're gonna have a face on it, let's not have it at this angle, because nobody looks flattering when you're looking up their fucking nostrils, like seriously. No one needs to see that. This next book I feel like I've seen before, but I actually know nothing about it, so naturally that means I bought it. I got Ashes by Ilsa J. Bick, and I have the second book coming in the mail in the next few days. I don't know what this is about. I actually got 2 packages just this morning from Depop with some books, and one of those was Twisted by Laurie Halse Anderson. I loved Speak by this author. So our main character Tyler has a crush on this girl, and then she ends up being the victim of like a sexual assault, and Tyler gets the blame, so it's all about how people are accusing him of this thing that he hasn't done. And this next one I 100% bought because I could tell it was a floppy American paperback, and oh look, it is! I got Of Metal and Wishes by Sarah Fine, and this is something to do with a ghost. I don't even like paranormal books that much, but I couldn't resist, and it just, I don't know, I actually really like this cover, and it's got like a different, you hear that? I love it, I love it. I have Dreamland by Sarah Dessen, and I'm planning on taking this on holiday with me in September, which is a while away, but if I don't like it, then I don't really care if I end up just leaving it when it's like there. This next one, I read the synopsis in the charity shop and was like, that sounds intriguing as fuck, and it is Forever X by Geraldine McCaughrean, and she was actually like commissioned by the J.M. Barrie estate or Great Orange Street Hospital, because technically they got all this money, I don't know, one of those, to write a Peter Pan sequel. So I knew of her and I thought, well, if she was commissioned to bloody continue J.M. Barrie's work, she must be good. But basically, I'll read it on the back, right?
What did it mean, this strange sign on the strange house in the middle of nowhere? Who are these weird people? What is an angel doing up in a tree, and why have the police arrived? You'll find the answers in this imaginative and richly comic novel.
And basically it's like this hotel or whatever. I realised like inside it's a place, I think this hotel is like always Christmas, so I'm like, is it a Christmas book? Should I read it at Christmas? Because it takes place, I want to say, in like June. Yeah, because they go away for their summer holiday, but it's like Christmassy. I found a copy of Meg Rosoff's Just in Case. I say that like I actually have any clue what this is about. I only know the author. I know like How I Live Now by this author was like super popular. We all know why Emma bought this. Large paperback, and it has something to do with planes, because clearly the planes never gave that away, but it's a signed copy. So Polly, thank you for donating your book. Speaking of signed books, I got Melody's Key by Dallas Coryell. I got this on Depop. Now, years ago when I first was doing booktube, Dallas actually contacted me and was kind enough to send me an ebook, like an e-copy of his book, and at the time I had just read another book that has a kind of similar plot, so I was struggling because I didn't enjoy that other book. I was struggling to make myself read this, one because it was an ebook, and two, it was similar and I was worried I wasn't going to like it because I didn't like the other one. However, it's been a few years, I have a physical copy, so perhaps I can finally read and review this book for Dallas. So Dallas, if you see this, I am so incredibly sorry how long it's taken me to get around to your book. It's signed to Ella, but hey, Ella's practically Emma, so for some reason, I don't know how, proofs always seem to end up in my local charity shops. I saw this author's name and was like, I need it. And that is Curiosity House, The Shrunken Head by Lauren Oliver and H.C. Chester, who I've since discovered I don't think exists. Don't really know anything about this. It says it's good for fans of Lemony Snicket, never read it, didn't like the Netflix show, and there's some sort of museum and 4 kids live in it, so it seems like it'll be so much fun. And the last proof I found, I nearly didn't buy, but I was like, fuck it, just take it. And that is The Forbidden Library by Django Wexler. Basically this girl has to like go and live with like some sort of uncle or granddad or whatever, and he has this big massive mansion, and the only room she can't go in is the library. But then there's a cat that convinces her to go in the library. I can't remember if it talks or not, but basically the cat is like, come in the library. So she goes in and it's like, open up a book, and she does, and then next thing you know, she's in the damn book and has to like save, you know, whatever's going on. I think there's a monster in it, so it just sounds like my kind of thing. So I'm so glad I picked this up. I'm missing some books. Fuck, where are they? I think I've gone blind. Guys, there's a pile of books. Wait. Found them, it's fine. I got myself a copy of The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared by Jonas Jonasson. I read this years ago, but I didn't have my own copy, and I loved it, and I really want my own copy, so now I have one. The Vegetarian by Han Kang, which won the Man Booker Prize in 2016. Super short, but I've been hearing loads of good things about it, and that cover's worth it. I also got a copy of Half of the Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Whether I actually ever get around to this, I don't know, but when it's 50p and you're determined you're going to buy a book. Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, which I'm sure you guys know about. The End of Mr. Y by Scarlett Thomas. This author, one of her other books, I think The Seed Collectors or something like that, was recommended to me by a customer when I was a bookseller, and never got around to buying it, but I saw this, had sprayed edges, and I was like, why not? So I got Maggie O'Farrell's Instructions for a Heat Wave. I know this is something to do with like London being in a heat wave, and like this person, the husband, like goes around the shop, goes around the corner to get a newspaper and doesn't come back. Ages ago I had like 3 people at the one time tell me to read The Vanishing Act of Esme Lennox by this author. Every time that I've been in a charity shop and seen it, it's been like the old cover that's just nasty. I've been waiting so damn long to read this book that I was like, I'm gonna just buy this one while I see it, and I can actually find out if I even like Maggie O'Farrell. This next book has the creepiest cover, and I kind of wish I hadn't bought it. I got The Secret, no I didn't, The Little History, no, The Little Friend by Donna Tartt, and I'm just really creeped out by the baby's eye having a hole. Yeah. Now, remember what I said about me not needing any more adult psychological domestic thrillers? I don't need another adult thriller, especially because I bought loads already and I've still never read any of them, so I don't even know if I like them. Yeah. These I will definitely not be giving you any synopsis because I don't fucking know. They're psychological thrillers. Read them blind. That's the best way. A Game for All the Family by Sophie Hannah. Trust in Me by Sophie Mackenzie, because apparently I'm still collecting Sophie Mackenzie's books. The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh. Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. Blackout by Emily Barr, which is a little quick reads that I got for like 50p at my library sale. And finally, The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. Floppy Trade Paperback. It's like my brand. Swearing, cats, floppy trade paperbacks. That kind of rhymes. This next book I'm so excited about, and I'm really pissed with myself for not reading it yet. The Gloaming by Kirsty Logan. Look at it. Oh my gosh. This is the only book this month I've paid like full price for, RRP. I'm obsessed with Kirsty Logan. I have been highly anticipating this. I have such high hopes for this, and I think that's why I've like put off reading it, because I'm terrified that it won't be as good as The Gracekeepers. I doubt it. Like, it's gonna be incredible. I got The Sealed Letter by Emma Donoghue. This, I believe, is actually based on like a real situation, the Codrington divorce of 1864, and basically it's apparently these 2 women were actually like lesbian, and I'm like, ooh, like, you know, controversy, you know what I mean. So I'm excited for a bit of history, but fictionalised. However, I think I want to read Room first. The Pleasures of Men by Kate Williams. Now, 1, it looks like Victorian. 2, my colour scheme. 3, she's got a bloody dagger. What more could you want in a woman? This is a trade paperback, which I love, but it's a trade paperback with a dust jacket, which I love that. I love how it's just the same but without the text. No idea what this is about, but it's like Victorian London murder. Why not? And the final book before we move on to like my most exciting ones, The Land of Decoration by, I nearly said by Extraordinary, The Land of Decoration by Grace McLean. And this is magical realism. It has absolutely beautiful end pages. It's one of those books that when it's cheap and it's like, literally this was like £2, and I mean it's in better condition than hardbacks I bought brand new. So I finally got Lumberjanes Volume 1, Beware of the Kitten Holy by a bunch of people, Noelle Stevenson, Ellis, Waters and Allen. I don't know their first names, I'm sorry. I'm sure you all know about Lumberjanes, everyone talks about it. I also picked up my first physical manga, which is Fruits Basket Volume 1 by Natsuki Takaya. And this is something to do with an ancient curse. This girl who's an orphan goes to live with a family, and it's something to do with the zodiac, and I think if you like kiss them you turn into the animal from the zodiac. I don't know, it's manga, it's gonna be weird. So this next one I was super excited to find, but it's not worth anything, particularly because it advertises Pottermore in the back, which means it's quite old. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and this is the Scholastic hardback. I don't know if it's meant to have a dust jacket or whatever. Oh, bound for schools and libraries, okay. So somehow someone in Scotland got a copy of the US hardback schools and library edition of Harry Potter. But you know, I have a little collection going of the first Harry Potter book, and you know, it's special to me. This next book I literally cannot pronounce. Oh look, Emma bought a book in French. Le Grand Molyneux by Alain Fournier. That word is a surname which I don't know how to pronounce, and the book is in French. Whether I ever read this, debatable. And the final book that I picked up in May that has actually arrived is the most exciting to me. This is The Hill of the Red Fox by Alan McLean. Now, it's an old Collins hardback, and at the time when I was looking at it I was like, Hill of the Red Fox, I was like, I have that book. I have this, The Hill of the Red Fox by Alan Campbell McLean. And at the time when this came out I thought it was just a new book. I didn't realise, the back literally tells me it's a Kelpie's classic, so I didn't realise it was like a book that had been out for donkeys. When I realised that, I was like, I'm gonna take it. And this book, in the back, this girl called Jacqueline McCrae, she's got her address, which is somewhere in Inverness. So this girl lived in Scotland, in Inverness, this woman, and this is from, I believe, the 50s. Yeah, this second impression was 1957, so 2 years after publication. But to Jacqueline, Alan C. McLean. Now this author is now dead, I believe. I have one of the first print runs, and it was a book that I happened to already have an interest in. Like, my mind is blown. So yeah, it was like £3 or something, so I was like, I'm buying it. I am so excited to have this, just to have on my shelf, and who knows, maybe one day it'll be worth money, I don't know. So that is my ridiculous book haul. I have been filming for 59 minutes. I hate myself. This is ridiculous. If June has more than 40 books, do you know what? I can't even. Like, I'm gonna go put all these away. I'm gonna go hide them so I don't have to look, because they've all just been on my shelf like double stacked. So I wanna like try and shelve them so it doesn't look as bad, but this was exhausting emotionally. More than physically, although standing for an hour has stiffened me up a little bit. I hope this entertained you guys. I hope my lack of self-control makes your day. But I have 7 seconds till I hit an hour, so we're gonna wrap this up right now.